Alright folks, welcome back to the Don's channel. I am the Don Father and I'm now doing a USA versus China military power comparison 2021. Look, China are a next generation superpower possibly, but they are, let's not fucking make any mistake about this here. They're nowhere near the United States of America, and I don't think they ever will be in my lifetime. Equipment wise, don't think they'd be near it. The only thing I would say with China is they've probably got more, I don't even know, I'll wait and see what the video says, but I'd imagine they've possibly got more infantry soldiers. That's probably about it. That's probably about the only front that they would win on. Obviously, we know the size and the population, the overcrowding in China, so that adds to that. But technology, nukes, ships, battleships, aircrafts, I'm not convinced they'll be anywhere near the United States, but we'll have to wait and see. That's why I'm going to be watching the video and reacting to it. Before I start though, don't forget to subscribe if you like my US content, because there's going to be more of it, and put the bell on so it alerts you and you don't miss it. Thanks very much. If you like any of my videos, please share them in order to help the channel grow. Thanks very much. Anyway, no more talking. Let's go. Disclaimer, this video is to educate, not to inspire. Conflicts goes without saying. Blah 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 blah. You read it yourself. Today we're comparing military power between the USA and China. Watch who's the most powerful. Let's begin. USA global rank numero uno. China 3. President Joe Biden and that nutcase Xi Jinping. Not much difference in the size of the land, to be fair, very close. Washington DC and Beijing, of course. Population. Now, that's where the difference, as I said, the sheer numbers, volume of people, population, overcrowding in China. GDP 19.8. So, quite a considerable bit of a difference there. Defence budget, wow, I mean, like, what's that, just quickly, about 4 times that. Nuclear weapons, this is going to be insane, the comparison. Look at that, look at that. Wiping the floor with them on that front as well. Right, okay. Total military, 2 million. I knew China would have more when it came to military personnel. And that's where they lag behind, is on the female front. The active, again, the numbers, as I quite rightly pointed out, the numbers would be huge when it comes to that. Nearly double combat tanks, and I'd imagine the tanks are nowhere near the Abrams standard. AFV, armoured fighting vehicles, quite close on that front, but look at the US one in comparison to the Chinese one. Armoured carrier, nearly 10,000 more. Armoured car, mounted with a 50 caliber machine gun by the looks of it, nearly 7,000 more. Mine protected vehicles, quite important on the battlefield. Actually, China has more, but I'd be interested to see again what the quality is like. The Humvees, there's absolutely shitloads of them in comparison. Virus. Total artillery, but I did in a previous video, the artillery is now, they're going more drones, aren't they? Rather than having manned artillery, they're having unmanned drones that can do pretty much the same thing without the risk of human life. Rocket projectors, again something quite similar. Anti-aircraft rockets. US Air Force. It's not even close. See, when you're looking at the equipment that's quite important, it's not even close. Total aircrafts, there's 10,000 more. And again, the combat aircrafts, the difference in quality and ability and capabilities would be absolutely staggering, regardless of volume. Four times the amount. Whoa, look at that. Electronic warfare, look, I'm not going to tell you much about that, I don't know much about that. Reconnaissance. Staggering difference there. Wow, there's nearly over five times as much as well on that front. Attack helicopters like Apaches, etc. What a wonderful piece of kit there. Frightening to see one of them coming at you. Strategic bomber. The B-2s, is it? The stealth bombers. F-22s and the B. Oh look, this is the. Is this the? Yes. I was gonna say it was the drones. UAVs. Obviously the transport aircraft taking the equipment and the troops in and out of conflict zones. Tanker 544, 51 on order. Navy, like, they rule the waves, America. This will be absolutely ridiculous. Fleet strength 777 to 490. Quite interesting numbers, but I bet you a lot of the Chinese is made up of small ships. Aircraft carrier 11, and they've got the new ones coming as well, which are going to be an upgrade. 92 destroyers versus 50 corvettes. This is what I think China will maybe have more of. Corvettes, new 10 a penny. Frigates 46. I'd imagine submarines will be more for the US by a big bit. No, it's not. It's not. I'm actually surprised. And I actually did see something on that. I'll say something after it. Patrol vessels. Numbers. I'm seeing numbers, but I'm also thinking in my head, what is the quality of them? That's quite impressive, to be fair. Ports and terminal. Ports and terminal. So a lot more places to go in and out of at the US. Oil production now. 11 million. About 3 times the amount. Usable airports, which is quite surprising. China doesn't have just as much. Labour force will be ridiculous in China, and I would imagine the working conditions are substandard, inhumane. I'd imagine the railway coverage, oh, they're actually less. This is what I was interested in, because we've seen a lot of the patrol. Thanks very much for watching. I was going to say something on the submarines. Of course, China had more. I don't know if I read an article or if I was told China was producing more nuclear subs or more submarines than the US and Britain could even think of right now. that's how much they're putting a push on. As I did mention, them in India as well, next generation superpowers, maybe not so much in my lifetime, but you're starting to see the rise of the East, aren't you? And that's all down to the fact that I would say a lot of the stuff that the West has done, we've relied heavily on China to produce absolutely everything we buy. I mean, our shops are awash with stuff from China. Low quality materials, low quality goods. You could buy better stuff, European made, West made, but we rely, we've all become a throwaway culture. Kind of drifting away from this video quickly. I believe in the West we became throwaway cultures. If you break a washing machine, instead of trying to repair it, you're like, I can buy another one for a couple of £100, and you go and buy a new washing machine because it's costing you probably about 100 odd quid to repair it. So it's a throwaway culture. Instead of fixing stuff, we're now buying it brand new and throwing it away, and that's because they're being knocked up really dirt cheap and really quickly mass produced in China and places like it. So upon doing that and relying so heavily on them for the stuff that they make, and of course our way of not really giving a shit about looking after our stuff anymore and just buying something brand new, that sort of mentality that we've got, the throwaway culture, it's increased their economy and created so many billionaires over in China. I think I read something today about how much of the UK China actually owns. It's staggering. I know that they own a shitload in Australia as well. So we're selling away our countries to this mob out there, and they're not to be trusted as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. America, look, I looked at some of the stuff there, and the numbers and the departments that matter are rightly different. The difference is huge, they're staggering. But the biggest thing that video will not show you, it will not break down each section. Yes, they've got, say, 10 of these and we've got 80 of these, but what actually are the capabilities of each thing? I mean, again, the difference will be staggering. China can only really throw in huge numbers of military personnel. It's like loads of bodies on the ground. The old school tactics of just flooding the battlefield, it does not wash in the modern world. Could you imagine fighting battles like in the Somme, just running to the machine gun fire? You're not going to do that anymore. You've got drones and UAVs and stealth bombers coming in and clearing the way. You've got the Navy firing from the sea onto the land, obliterating any areas in which you see the threat way before the troops go in. Of course you're going to have things like special forces in there, they'll do that job anyway, but before your infantry and stuff go in, you've absolutely bombarded them from here, from the sky, from the sea, from artillery, tanks rolling up. You're not going to send in the troops, and this is where I think China focus, and countries like it with huge populations, focus a lot of their military effort. Although contradictory to what I've just said there, I know they're putting a huge amount of money into their military now, but still, when you look at their military budget, it's still a frightening amount behind the US, and I think they've got a long way to go in our lifetime before they'll ever see that jump. I don't think we'll ever see it. I think America, it's the technology as well. It's okay spending big, but if you don't have the ability to produce equipment to that standard, then it doesn't matter how much you spend. That's the bottom line, isn't it? Brilliant video anyway. I've done a few of them comparisons before, and as the video says at the start, this isn't to inspire sort of conflicts between two nations. This is just literally a military comparison to see how much of each thing both countries have, and I don't think it's right to compare anyone to the US, to tell you the truth, because they're going to win by a landslide. Even if you compare them to the Russians equipment, even if they had more tanks, I think I've seen articles as well about the Russians' tanks, they're so far behind, they're going to wreck and ruin. They're not they're not being modernised properly. They've got stuff that probably they would have had in the Cold War. So they're lagging behind on that front. Upgrading, basically, a hell of a lot of upgrading job needs done on the Russian equipment. And that's the difference, really, isn't it, as well? And I'd imagine the numbers are still quite big between Russia and America as well, on all of those fronts. But certainly Russia are quite a strong second as well. But anyway, that was an interesting video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've you do a little bit more research into the things that you, the sections that you thought, oh, we're maybe not just quite as far in front there, or we are in front, and you want to look at the subs. I don't know how much details you'll get about subs, because they are quite, there's a lot of information that will not be getting shared to the general public. A lot of these are military subs, and I'd imagine it's a need to know basis, isn't it? But all that being said, I do believe if you look at an American sub in comparison to a Chinese sub, it's okay mass producing them like they do over in China, building them at a quicker rate of knots, but just how good are they? That is the question. And the people making them, what's the working conditions like? We all know what's happening over there when it comes to human rights and working conditions. It's not good, and that's where we fare a little bit higher as well in the West. It is the developing world, there's no doubt about that, but it's got a lot of developing to do, hasn't it? To put it politely. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. As I said at the very start, check out our social media platforms in the description section below. The link to the original video will be there also. And that's all about it I have to say about that. Check out the sleeve. Boom, you know yourself, allies, then, now, and forever. What are you doing behind me? I'll see you all soon, everyone. Goodbye.